Hello and welcome to Melomaniax, the podcast where we take unbiased deep dives into the biggest musicians and artists of all time. I'm your host, Ashton.
And I'm Dallas. Thank you so much for joining us today. Wanted to give you the spiel, the marketing spiel before we get started. And that is wherever you're listening to this podcast, please take a second to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you feel moved to do. We're also on Instagram and TikTok if you want to keep up with us outside of the podcast. And we have a Patreon, $5 a month, a lot of cool rewards there. And I think that's it, right? Okay, so today we are moving on in our decades of music kind of series that we've been doing. We are officially, and it's hard to believe, we're in the 80s already. So today we're going to do part one of the 80s. That's 1980, 81, 82, 83, and 84.
Yep,
How you feeling today?
Good. I saw it, when we were pulling up the tabs, I saw a couple of previews and the 80s are loaded down with music.
Start strong, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Start strong and strong. So this should be a really good episode today. I'm excited for this one. And I was telling you before, this is really like the peak years of my dad listening, with music. He was born in 65, so he'd be 15 going into 80. He joins the military at 18 and then goes to see a ton of bands while he's stationed in Germany and over in Europe. So a lot of bands we're going to see today, I'm sure my dad is just like, it's literally everything he grew up listening to. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think those teenage years, the high school years, I think there's some quote from someone that said, whatever you listen to when you're in high school is kind of like what your favorite music ends up being. I think that's pretty interesting to think about.
That is interesting to think about because I listen to a lot of classic rock, but I've kind of evolved that taste over time. But I still, if I hear classic rock come on, I'm still going to know like every word, know all the songs, but
yeah, I wonder if that's because a lot of classic rock, dude, I think about this a lot. It's like, we play a lot of bars and venues and things like that have music going. In between our sets, and it's always the same songs. And I'm just like, dude, how many more times as a society are we gonna listen to Sweet Child of Mine before we're all just like, hey, it was great, we're done? Like, right? You know what I mean? Like, how is it possible that people still get so hyped when that song comes on? That is really, really foreign to me, because there's no way at this point you haven't heard it a million times. And for me, maybe you're like me, the millionth time you hear something, I'm not being like, oh my God, like that's more like the fifth time I hear it, Yeah,
I think it's really Don't Stop Believing for me. I feel like is that song for me where I'm like, all right, guys, I know everyone in here's heard it hundreds of times. Like, is there not anything else that we can evolve to, move on to? And I understand like keeping the great songs of the past, but they get so overplayed that I'm just sick of them. And
it's not even just Sweet Child of Mine. It's any, there's a lot of them. Yeah, like you said, Don't Stop Believing, like Mr. Brightside. Like there's all kinds.
Oh, true. Everyone's number one hit, Is Sweet Child of Mine their number one hit? That's their biggest song?
Yeah. Yeah, all by a lot.
Okay. That's disappointing. They have so many other great songs.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Like the song's good. Just definitely not, probably doesn't even make my top 5 favorite Guns N' Roses songs.
Now, as a quick tangent, let me think of how to phrase this. Does that not make your top 5 because of the song objectively, or because of like, it's the number one song. Like it's definitely not going to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's more so what I listen for when I listen to a Guns N' Roses song, and that isn't it. I'm not as, you play guitar, so obviously guitar is like probably your first thing you listen to. I like drums, so like I like a beat a little more, and that song doesn't really give me a whole lot in that regard.
That's very true. There's a really funny mistake, and I can't confirm it's a mistake, but it's something he does one time and only one time, and it sounds like a mistake. And you'll have to go back and listen to this and tell me what you think. So right at the beginning, when the drum's giving you da 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 boom da boom, then he comes in with the beat, and that beat is kick snare kick kick snare. That first snare after he comes in, doom ga boom boom ba. That one he hits a hi hat, And then he immediately goes over to the ride and stays on the ride the rest of the song.
Oh.
So it's like, I wonder if he was like, oh, shit.
Most likely. That's probably how it went.
It's really funny, though.
I'll have to go and listen to that.
It, like,
yeah, I'll have to go and listen.
It's boom, ding, 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 ding.
Oops. I mean, I've done that before playing Go to the Hat.
Really
I'm like,
sounded
oh,
like
no,
an
it's
oops,
a ride
yeah.
part. Oops.
Yeah. That just makes, I like to think of it as like, oh, shit. Like, I mean, it could be just a cool effect, but if it was a cool effect, in my opinion, I'm thinking, he probably would have done it every time that like he starts the phrase again, and he just doesn't. So I don't know. That's a fun little thing. There's a lot of little fun little stuff like that in recordings. So we will get into Guns N' Roses, but that will not be till part 2 of the 80s, as they didn't begin and really until the mid 80s, and their first album was 1987. So we're going to start today in January 1980. I need to pull up my notes. I guess actually I could save it till after, because we have to decide who is going to be the king of the 80s. Today we have to decide who's going to be the king of the early 80s. So why don't we get started right off the bat?
Dive in.
I mean, the first album of 1980 is the Romantics, and that's their self-titled debut.
Killing it.
So that's cool.
I'm not sure
that
if
has
I've heard
the song
of them.
"What I Like About You."
Oh, that's them? Oh, okay.
You really know how to dance. Well, they're the original. Yeah, there's a bunch of covers.
Yeah, there are a lot of covers of that song. Rush
And the
still
Babies.
keeping up. Yeah,
Rush Permanent Waves. It's their 7th.
they still
You know
haven't.
what, though? I
don't
gotta
think
say, great logo.
true.
Just the Rush. It actually kind of looks like the Guns N' Roses font. Actually, it's kind of funny. Just that real tall, skinny font.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten into the big Rush albums yet. I feel like they haven't come across yet.
I think we had 2112, didn't we?
We had 2112. That's right, but they have a couple others that'll
They do.
come through.
I know a lot of Rush songs. I am not very familiar with like which album they're on, what those albums are called, all that stuff. So
Same. That is definitely some information I do not have in the brain. All right. Going across here, we're just in January. I'm not seeing a whole lot else.
honestly, not a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
to real quick recap, we have Jay Giles Band, UFO, Nazareth, but these are all like, in the middle of their career. February, we get the 5th album from the Ramones.
Okay. Get the Cure. Heart. Is that their 5th? Okay. Ooh, warns them on.
The Cure is their first compilation. We do get Bryan Adams. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
His debut. He begins 1980.
Oh, dude, Against the Wind. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Good one.
Dude, they're 11th.
11th. That's right. It's weird though, because it counts every iteration. If we remember, it was like Bob Seger and his band or whatever, and then it was like Bob Seger, and now it's Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. They've gone through a lot of name changes.
Right. We do get Departure by Journey, which starts with Any Way You Want It, which is pretty cool.
I like that
It's
song.
got another cool hit, a lot of other cool songs on it. However, they're all deeper cuts. We played a lot of them when I was in a Journey tribute band. We played Walks Like a Lady, which is like a groovy, slow blues, like smoky jazz club type song. Where Were You is like a heavy song. Actually sounds like a Motley Crue riff in the beginning. Actually, scarily like a Motley Crue riff. It's the exact riff from Looks That Kill. I wonder if they maybe lifted that a little bit. Line of Fire is really cool. Stay a While is really... A lot of good songs on that one.
I'm looking down a little bit. Still in February, we have Survivor's debut. I don't know if that's the one that has Eye of the Tiger on it.
That album art, I don't know how they did it, but that album art looks like it came out yesterday.
Definitely does not have Eye of the Tiger on it, but that is their debut.
Really, really good art.
Yeah, it
Just
is.
like a high-res picture.
Yeah.
Doesn't look dated in any way. Cool logo.
We'll have to
Billy
keep
Joel,
track on
Glass
them.
Houses. That's his 7th. Def Leppard. We get their debut, 1980, March 14th.
Anything good on that album? I don't know Def Leppard
So
albums
they didn't
very
really
well.
hit it until Pyromania, which I think was maybe their... Or I guess High and Dry had some. So they're going to hit it in the next couple years. But this
Gotcha.
one, as far as I know, doesn't really have that much.
Another Beatles album? What? Oh, it's unreleased compilation albums. Okay. Doesn't count. We got third album from Van Halen, Women and Children First.
Women and Children First, that's right.
Ooh, Genesis with their 10th studio album. Okay, wait.
Jeez.
So Phil Collins is still part of the group as of right here.
And then the Scorpions release Animal Magnetism, which if you look at that album art, it's like, dude, how many times can they do an album art where it's like a chick being like in a compromising position?
Always. Every single time it's either a naked chick or, like you said, it's every single album. They've got a problem, I think.
We get the first solo album by Daryl Hall. I know, right?
The Joe Perry Project. Huh. Interesting. Yep, and Daryl Hall solo going down to April. Oh, dude, Boney M.
I was just about to say my favorite player, Boney M.
Judas Priest, British Steel, 6th album. All right.
Black Sabbath releases my favorite album, Heaven and Hell.
Oh, dude.
Iron Maiden releases Iron Maiden. That's their debut studio album. Now they had that little EP thing before, you remember?
Yeah, that's right.
This is really where it starts. And you mentioned British Steel. That's one of their biggest for Judas Priest.
This was a good month. This was a better month for them.
This is really good.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper, Grateful Dead, Motorhead, their first live album.
Ooh, The Temptations keeping it alive with Power. Pete Townsend with his 3rd. Yeah, this was a good month.
Saw that.
Much better month. It was kind of sluggish to start the year.
Moving into May, we get McCartney 2, Paul McCartney's 2nd solo album.
Kiss Unmasked, their 8th.
That's crazy. Their 8th album in 1980. And it's their first without Peter Criss. Interesting.
What was the year their first album came out?
Kiss?
Yeah, were they?
We'll go find out. It was like 77 or something, maybe. I don't know.
Wow, that's a lot of albums really quick, if so.
Couldn't have been that, could it? Let's see.
We got Whitesnake's 3rd, Ready and Willing. Elton John's 21 at 33, his 14th.
Their first album was simply self-titled and Kiss, and it was 1974.
Still a lot of albums in that short amount of time. Peter Gabriel with his 3rd, self-titled.
Elton John's 14th.
Oh, dude. Joan Jett's debut, Bad Reputation.
Nice.
Another big one. Is that another debut? Yep. Billy Squires' debut, The Tale of the Tape. Okay. It really is starting to feel like the 80s now.
Yep. Really. Even as we get further into 1980. That's crazy.
Yep. All right, moving on to June, I see Cheap Trick with an EP. So I guess we'll see when their debut comes along, but
I think they already had it, if I remember.
Did they? So just another EP?
I think so. I think it was maybe 79.
I think you're right, actually.
The Kinks released a live album. Bob Marley releases Uprising.
This would be the final album because he dies this year, I believe. Is this the one that comes out right after he died? I think. That sounds right.
It was his final one released during his life.
During his life. Okay. So I think Kaya might be. No, Kaya already came out too. That's right. There is one more that releases after he dies.
We get Bob Dylan's 20th.
Woo. That's it. Come on, Bob. You can do more. Oh, dude, Huey Lewis and the News debut. Let's go. Self-titled Huey Lewis and the News. Love that group. So good. Yeah, I was thinking about doing an episode on them because that was the band that actually inspired me to do the podcast. I
really
had never really listened to Huey Lewis and the News, and I remember you always said like, dude, they're so good. And so one day I was like, I'm going to listen to their discography. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And I did, and I listened from start to finish, and that was kind of like, I really like listening to discographies when I listen to new bands, and was part of that inspiration that started me coming up with the idea for this podcast. So
Nice.
I kind of owe it to
Good
him.
band
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
it with.
for sure.
Queen releases their 8th. Crocus, their 4th.
Black Sabbath, a live album, looks like. Nice. Live at last. Ooh, is that a big dude? Sammy Hagar in these red and the color red. You weren't lying at all. Danger
That's
Zone. His
How about that Blue Oyster Cult album though? Say that one out loud.
Cultosaurus erectus. Dude, the artwork looks sick, actually.
The Chipmunks released Chipmunk Punk.
Let's go. Oh, that's awesome. Dude, I love that name. The Soft Boys.
Great.
All
Ted
right.
Nugent releases his 6th with just terrible album art there. Just so bad. Jeff Beck releases There and Back. Also not great, but at least a little more timeless. And then Blackfoot releases their 4th.
Right. July, we got Deep Purple's first greatest hits, I think. Compilation.
Deepest Purple.
Deepest Purple, the very best of Deep Purple. Deep Purple. Rick James
album, a Joy Division album.
Willie Nelson. Which one is this for him? Oh,
That
that's
Joy Division
movie.
is their.
Okay.
It's their 2nd and final.
Oh, that's it. Just 2 albums and done.
Charlie Daniels Band. That's their 11th. Jeez, man. Now here we go.
Yeah, we got a little run here. This
might make the whole year and put it. I mean, there's already been some other bangers here, but on the 25th of July, 1980, we get Back in Black by AC/DC, which goes on to become one of the greatest selling albums of all time, I believe.
Yep, and this was after Bon Scott had just died, either this year or the year before.
This is the first album with Brian Johnson, correct?
Yep. Chicago.
So this year has had a lot of other stuff also, but I think Back in Black is a strong mark in its favor for being one of the best.
This is Back in Black is probably the number 1 album for this year so far, for sure. As far as
I would
big
say
albums.
so. Yeah, unless I looked over something. We get another Hall & Oates, which is interesting because earlier this year, Daryl Hall released his first solo. So that's interesting.
James
Eddie
Brown,
Money.
another live. Eddie Money.
All right, I'm moving on into August.
Me too. Let's see.
I get Pat Benatar's 2nd. I don't remember seeing her first.
I don't remember seeing her first either. But
Another Paul Simon.
One Trick Pony. I love Paul Simon. He's another one I got to do. I just don't know a whole lot about him.
True. I wonder if that'll make you like him more or less.
Who knows?
We're on a run here.
Yeah.
We get the Cars.
Yes.
Panorama. Johnny Van Zant. Cher. Yes. The B-52s. Jethro Tull. UB40. Van Morrison. Black Flag. I mean, this is all in the same month. Michael Schenker Group. The Allman Brothers. Carlos Santana. Jeez.
Man,
I left out some too.
What a time to be alive. 80s music, man. Goodness.
My question is always, and it's, you can't ask someone from the 80s because of course they're just going to answer yes. But did you know at the time that this was like a special thing? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it sucks because you just have to have a time machine to go figure it out. Because at the time, you know, everyone nowadays is going to be like, oh, I knew it all along. Of course, yeah, the second it came out. It's like, hold on a second.
Yeah, because I don't really feel like there's good music that comes out today, but it doesn't feel as special as like looking back to, you know, this like late 70s and the 80s, like looking back to this music, it's like, man, they were in the heyday of just nothing but good music coming out. And there, like I said, there is good music that comes out today, but it's not like memorable, I would say, nowadays.
I think you need that time. That time has to pass, you know?
Yeah. That is a little bit of time so you can get some perspective.
Right. 1980 has another big win coming up.
Are you in September here?
I'm in September.
Oh, I love that title.
Kansas releases some stuff. We get the Dead Kennedys debut. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Peter Criss releases his second studio album. Remember the first being the one where they all did it together?
That's right.
But then we get Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz. That's one of his, if not his biggest album. That's the one with Crazy Train.
Okay. I didn't know that was others. Yeah, I didn't know that was his debut solo.
It's got I Don't Know, Crazy Train, Goodbye to Romance, D, Suicide Solution, Mr. Crowley, No Bone Movies, Revelation Mother Earth, and Steal Away the Night.
That is a great album. Goodness.
Yeah, so I mean that's I believe his biggest. Diary of a Madman might also be up there. I think Blizzard of Oz might take the cake. So we got two massive albums.
We got the Doobie Brothers, One Step Closer, and it's either this one or the next one, and then the band members kind of split up a little bit. This might have been the
Oingo Boingo. We get the debut EP by Oingo Boingo, which you may not recognize the name, but you may recognize the name Danny Elfman, and that was his band.
Oh, I do know. Yeah, I know Danny Elfman. I did not recognize Oingo Boingo though.
They were just as weird as he is. We get the Doobie Brothers One Step Closer.
Ooh, Supertramp live album.
Michael McDonald in a lot of these early pictures, he looks like a baby with a beard.
Yeah, he does.
You ever notice that? He looks like someone just put a beard on a baby and was like, smile and sing.
Yeah, he always gives off that like super shy vibes. And just like I'm just here to like play the music and that's it. Still kind of gives that off. Yeah, seems like an extremely humble guy.
Yeah, like maybe too humble.
Yeah, probably a little too. Like you could have been a little more of a star out there. I think that's what what is his name? Kenny Loggins. Those two wrote a lot of songs. Kenny Loggins is like the out in your face one of the two. You know, for the same kind of music writing.
We get another Molly Hatchet album. This one with just the same absurdness in album cover that we're used to seeing from them. You'd think they were a European like speed metal band based on their album art.
Right.
They're literally like a country rock band with like Kermit the Frog singing.
Yeah, so I haven't listened to him. Ooh, Herbie Hancock putting out 24th album. My goodness. Jeez. Slow down, brother. Joni Mitchell, second live album. Okay. Moving on to October here. Oh, dude, one of my favorite album by this band. I think you just looked at what I saw. This is my favorite is the Police's Zenyatta Mendetta. Love that album start to finish. So good. That's their third. Oh, Prince's Dirty Mind. Yeah.
That's his third.
Talking Heads. What is that? Their fourth. Okay. Manfred Mann Earth Band. Thin Lizzy putting out Chinatown. Okay. What else we got here? Earth, Wind, and Fire with their 10th. All right. I don't know why I love that.
The River.
I love that yellow, like the way they spelled it. Yello. Looks so good.
Yeah, that does look good. You're right. U2 releases Boy. That's their debut studio album.
Nice. I know you don't like
and then Motorhead releases Ace of Spades. That's their fourth, but I think...
Oh, that's a big one.
It is. It is their biggest.
Yep. I don't really know Motorhead a whole lot. Ace of Spades being the only album I know songs from, really. So, what is Johnny Cash on nowadays? Oh, it doesn't even say the number. They stopped counting.
I know. Waylon Jennings was the same way. After you get to 35, they're like, you know what? It's just another album. It's fine.
The Clash. Nice.
Whitesnake in November releases a live album. Interesting, because they haven't released any of their hits yet, as far as I know. We get Neil Young's 11th.
All right. Let's see. ABBA, Super Trooper. 7th album by them.
Eagles live album. It's their first live album. They were already in the process of breaking up, but they owed the label one more album. So they fulfilled that obligation with a live album.
We have Aerosmith's first greatest hits, I believe.
I had this album, I think.
I think we did too. They have a couple of greatest hits because they release a lot of albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably was an older one or a newer one then. We get Double Fantasy, the 5th studio album by John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and the final one before his death.
Yep, we get Rod Stewart, Steely Dan. By the way, I went back and listened to, I think we pronounce it Aja or Aja, whichever the two is, by Steely Dan. That album instantly became a top 10 favorite for me.
Which one?
It's AJA is how it's spelled. Either Aja or Aja, depending on if they went with a English pronunciation or a Hispanic. I don't know. But that album slaps, dude. It's so good. That was from 77, if I remember correctly.
Nice. So High Infidelity, REO Speedwagon, and then 9 to 5 and Odd Jobs is solo studio album by Dolly Parton. That's where the song 9 to 5 comes from, I think.
I love that song.
Yeah. It said she wrote this centered around the song 9 to 5. So I don't know if this song was already out. No, this song came out. This came out for this album, 1980. Yep.
Oh, awesome. I love that song. Probably my favorite by her.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes, with another live album, their second, Blondie, putting more stuff out. Auto American, 5th studio album. Damn, Motorhead again, putting out an EP right after releasing their best album.
In December, Queen puts out Flash Gordon, the soundtrack album for the show.
Oh, really? Nice. Oh, dude, the Blues Brothers. Nice. Third album. Oh, Parliament on the downside of disco era. They were more funk,
a lot about Journey,
you know.
But I didn't know this. They did Dream After Dream, a soundtrack album to the Japanese romantic fantasy film.
Oh, I did not know that. I wonder what's on there. We'll have to go and listen.
We get the second Steve Winwood as well.
I think that about wraps up 80. Oh,
Jesus, dude, we gotta speed these along. That was 30 minutes in 1980.
Dude, so many. We knew the 80s were going to be like this, though. Just chocked full of stuff. All right. Well, 80 was pretty strong. What a way to start it off. So,
well, nothing to compare it to, but 80's on top right now.
Yeah. 80's number one by default.
Honestly, think that's going to be hard to top. You had Back in Black, Others.
There's Ace of Spades.
I forget the others. There was at least 2 other really big ones.
Yeah, there was a lot of big ones, but let's get into 81 here.
All right, moving on. 81.
Whoa. I just got a little quick glance at the bands disbanded. What a long list here. Oh no, Steely Dan breaking up. All right, let's get in these albums.
Paul McCartney and Wings as well.
Yeah, in January, Marvin Gaye.
We get Captured by Journey. I believe that was the live album. Yeah.
We got a Styx album, UFO.
Toto.
Ooh, love me some Toto. Oh, I like that album artwork. That's funny. That's so cool. Super simple, but like so recognizable. BB
I didn't realize there's a band called Kirathungal, which, you know, we're Lord of the Rings fans. We understand Kirathungal. Like, that's crazy.
That's after the books. Books have been out for a long time, right? So
yeah, I think it came out in like the 50s, maybe even earlier than that.
Yeah. What do you got for me? Hit me with it.
Rush Moving Pictures, one of their biggest.
Oh, and it's their 8th. Yep, Moving Pictures, huge one. That has Tom Sawyer on it, I believe.
We get Phil Collins' debut, which I recognize the album art, which means it must have a couple hits on it. Oh, yeah, of course. In the Air Tonight.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That'll do it.
That will do it.
And If Leaving Me Is Easy, yeah. Most famous drum fill of all time, maybe.
Yeah.
So Iron Maiden released Killers. That's their second.
So that Moving Pictures has Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta, YYZ, Limelight, Vital Sign, like
Jeez.
the Camera Eye. That's like the album.
So that's my favorite album.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, this is a good month. Man,
Weird Al
February
comes
was
out.
great. Wait, what?
Yeah, with Another One Rides the Bus.
I didn't know he
Buffett,
started so
Coconut
early.
Telegraph. Yeah, I didn't either. I thought he was like 2000s. I'm stupid.
Yeah, right. Learning so much.
Alabama released their 5th album. It's their first #1 on the top country albums.
Al Green. Moving on to March.
38 Special releases the album that has Hold On Loosely.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you know bands a little more. Oh, dude, hover 38 Special and look at the angle he has his cymbals at.
That's insane.
Hate that.
For the listener, they're literally, cymbals. You're used to seeing like cymbals on a drum kit a certain way. These are like if you turn them completely, so they're just pointing like to the ground in the sky.
Yeah. I don't know how you play a cymbal like that. All right, Joe Walsh with an album. The Who.
Ted Nugent.
Oh, Ted Nugent with a live album, it looks like. I don't know a lot about Ted Nugent. Other than that, I was gonna say
he doesn't have a ton of like musical hits. He's got really a couple, but
I gotcha.
He's more of just a wild character.
Yeah, The Who with their 9th album. The Pretenders is the EP. Okay.
Well, so far this year has a lot of catching up to do to catch up to 1980.
Yeah, for sure.
Whitesnake releases Come and Get It. It was at the time their highest rating one, but that's going to get blown out of the water in a little while, I think.
Oh, Willie Nelson, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Nice. Look at that album artwork. He just showed up dressed like that.
Oh shit, we're shooting an album cover? I was about to go to the gym.
I know, right?
All right, fine. I'll stand here real quick. All right, now I got to go.
Jefferson Starship. Okay, so that's the iteration that they're at.
Yeah, a little bit ahead of you. Fair Warning by Van Halen comes out.
Ooh.
That has So This Is Love. Failed to reach the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at 110.
Failures.
There's
Absolute
a band
failures.
called Holocaust.
I feel like I've heard of them before. Scottish heavy metal
band.
That's probably why. I think one time I looked up like every band from Scotland. That's like big. So I feel like that's where I may have read that before. All right, moving on to May. Ooh, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Frank Zappa, Shut Up and Play Your Guitar.
Peter Frampton. Another.
That's hilarious, dude. So Shut Up and Play Your Guitar is a series of 3 albums. The first is Shut Up and Play Your Guitar, and then Shut Up and Play Your Guitar some more, and then finally Return of the Son of Shut Up and Play Your Guitar.
No way.
Frank Zappa was a wild dude as well.
15th album by Elton John, The
Fox.
I couldn't tell you a single song from that album, but let me open it and see.
We get Anvil, their debut album.
Oh, that has Elton's song on it. Okay. Anvil? What would I know by them? I don't know. Oh,
Nothing. The documentary they made about how they're not famous and they should be.
Really?
And then you go listen to their music and you're like, oh, no, you shouldn't.
Wow.
It's really funny.
How full of yourself can you be? Jeez. All right, I'm on to June now. Johnny Cash, with his God, what deal did he sign that forced him to have to put this much music out? Poor dude hasn't
slept. The title track, The Baron, that was a top 10 hit.
See, George Harrison with a solo album.
Another Oingo Boingo album.
Duran Duran debut. Self-titled.
Oh, good. One. They made it. Cool. Welcome.
The Carpenters.
Mick Fleetwood, The Visitor.
Is that his first, or it doesn't even say.
It wasn't clear. Yeah.
Okay.
We get some more Commodores. We get some more Joe Perry Project, Iggy Pop, Village People, more Black Flag.
More
Kenny
Blue Oyster
Rogers.
Cult. I've seen Iggy Pop
All
pop
right.
up a lot as
Foreigner.
well. Oh,
They release 4. It's just called 4, also known as Foreigner 4. It's their 4th album. They're doing it right. That's good. Several singles were hits. We had Urgent, Waiting for a Girl Like You. That's a good one. And Jukebox Hero. I've been waiting. All right, then we get Def Leppard, High and Dry. This is a big one from what I remember. Let me see if I can find a track list. I don't know what's on it. Let It Go, another hit and run, High and Dry, and then Bring It On the Heartbreak. That's the one that made it to the greatest hits album that I had.
Gotcha.
I don't remember the other, but it was the last track on that. I didn't realize it was one of their earlier songs. It sounds really good.
Yeah, so we got.
I thought it was one of their later ones.
Pat Benatar's Third, Journey's Escape.
Go-Go's, Beauty and the Beat.
What's on Escape? Let's see. Don't Stop
That's
Believing.
Probably their biggest album, dude.
I see.
This is the first one where
Stone in Love. Who's Crying Now?
This is the first one where Jonathan Cain joined.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And then it closes with Open Arms.
Big one.
So this was the album. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. ZZ Top, the Ramones, Stevie Nicks with her solo debut after Fleetwood Mac disbanded. Bryan Adams with another. Ooh, The Time's debut, bro. The Time. For anybody who doesn't know The Time, that was the other group in the movie Purple Rain that Prince made. That's the other band.
This album was largely produced and arranged by Prince, credited as Jamie Starr.
Yep, he did a lot of lyrics, guitar, and singing on that album. He actually, which is funny because in the movie he makes it like they're like his rival band, but really he was kind of like just part of that band the whole time. So, but of course, everything in the movie is like a dramatized, type thing. ELO's Time, their 9th.
What's on that one? It doesn't say.
Foghat, Miles Davis, the B-52s.
Or Blackfoot.
Yeah. I'm moving on to August now.
Jaco Pastorius' Word of Mouth. That's his second. One of the only bass players good enough to have solo albums.
Very, very small list there.
Absolute monster. The Pretenders 2.
Nice.
Bob Dylan 21st. It's called Shot of Love. It looks like it's 21st based on that album art. They're just out of ideas.
Dude, Aretha Franklin's 27th. Killing it.
Jeez, the Rolling Stones, Tattoo You. It's their 16th. That's cool art.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've seen that. Okay, that one, that I feel like my parents had that album or something. I've seen that album artwork cover a lot before. That has Start Me Up.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's the only one I really know. I don't listen to a whole lot of the Stones, but I know that song. Let's see, we got Art Garfunkel with another solo, his 5th solo. The Allman Brothers Band. What is this? Their 8th. Oh, 10th album overall. 8th studio album. Okay. Kinks. Hank Williams Jr. Oh, Tim Curry had an album? Huh?
We get George Strait's debut album as well, one of the biggest country artists. In fact, he holds the record set just like a few months ago for the largest attended concert in the U.S.
That's right. You told me about that.
It was like 110,000 or something crazy.
Jeez. Oh, dude. Billy Joel's Songs in the Attic. It's a live album, but it's really good.
First live album, yep. Genesis released Abacab. That's probably my favorite by them.
Oh, and more Frank
Zappa
Zappa
releases You Are What You Is. That's his 34th album.
What? My goodness.
Yeah, he was like a musical, like genius, but very, very weird and out there stuff,
That Boney M The Boney M album that comes out is
Boo
called
New News.
The New News. That's good. Let's see what else. Grand Funk Railroad. Okay. Grand Funk Lives. They're trying to keep funk alive.
Kicks. Get Kicks debut album. This is the beginning of like hair starting to happen.
Yep, you can see it on there.
We're still a bit too early for it, but it's beginning to kind of take shape.
Gotcha. Hall & Oates, Private Eyes, big album. Really big album. And I'm going into October now.
Whistle. Yeah, we're in October. The Police, Eurythmics, In the Garden. That's their debut. Is Eurythmics the one that do Cotton Eye Joe?
Are they? British pop duo. I feel like it is actually, now that you say that. We'll have to pay attention to that. Ooh, U2's October. Nice. Second studio album by U2. Prince's Controversy.
Oh, no, sorry. It's
No.
not Cotton Eye Joe. That's Rednecks. With an X. This Eurythmics are Sweet Dreams.
Oh, that's right. Sweet
this.
Dreams. Yeah, that's right.
Which Marilyn Manson, he covered it. Had to remember the name. All right, Joy Division. We get a compilation by them. U2's October. That's their second.
Yep.
And then Prince's Controversy. That's his fourth.
Yep, that's another good one. Queen
Bauhaus
Greatest Hits.
released their second. Queen Greatest Hits. Nice.
Oh, dude, another big Rush album. Even though it's a live one, Exit Stage Left is well known.
Nice.
Ozzy with his second.
Diary of a Madman. That would be his biggest besides Blizzard of Oz, I would think. Songs on that are, of course, Diary of a Madman.
Oh, Billy Idol's
Over the Mountain, Flying High Again.
EP.
And Believer. Steve Miller Band. That's his 11th. Man, it's crazy. These bands pop up and you're like, oh, okay. Then they're 11 albums in before you know it.
Right? They've just been killing
Black Sabbath released Mob Rules. They're firmly in the Dio era, which is my favorite stuff. Ted Nugent releases his Greatest Hits. That's the album I had. Did not realize that came out that long ago.
I'm looking at the album artwork. Okay.
And then we get, right after that, Motley Crue's debut. Too Fast for Love.
Oh, real quick. Another debut I want to mention. Men at Work. Like that band.
Nice.
From Australia. Business as Usual, their debut. Did it have any hits on it, though? That's the question. Maybe, because I see Grammy Award pop up. Okay, it has a Who Can It Be Now and Down Under on it.
Nice.
They're two biggest hits.
Music from The Elder.
Which is their 9th? Okay.
Very different from their others. I think a lot of people maybe were either not a fan of that album or super a fan of that album.
Then Lizzie, Earth, Wind and Fire, David Bowie with a comp album, Ringo Starr. How is he even allowed to make solo albums? Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Pink Floyd with just a compilation album. Boney M with a Christmas album? That's crazy to me. Oh, dude, another big AC/DC album. For those about to rock, We Salute You. What else? ABBA, The Visitors, their 8th. I'm moving into December to close us out.
Yep. Frank Sinatra, Molly Hatchet again. Got to look at this album art. Wow. There's a dragon in it.
Oh, that's very fitting.
Quiet December for 1981. And that's not much to speak of there. All right, I think we're good. I think 80 still holds the cake. Should we move to 82?
Yep. It's heating up.
Kicking off 82. We got another Huey Lewis in the News. It's their second.
Let's see, picture this. Okay, I got to see what's on it. I don't know by the title. Working for a Living. Do You Believe in Love? Okay. Not a ton of the big hits, but
Nothing
all
really
their
to speak of
albums
in
are good.
January here.
Yeah,
More
kind of a
Hanoi Rocks, Jimmy Buffett, but not one of his bigger ones.
Conway Twitty. Nice. Southern Comfort. All right. Yeah, I'm moving into February. We got a quiet start to the year. Oh, dude, is that their debut? Second studio. When did I miss the Thompson Twins' first album? Thompson Twins' second album, Set, comes out. Lou Reed's
Alabama had another release.
Lou Reed's The Blue Mask. I just know that from the album artwork. Van Morrison. John Denver is 16th. Nice. Let's see. Yeah, quiet February also. Going into March now.
Yep.
Let's see, Scorpions with a redemption on the album artwork. Finally, no women.
Just thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a guy getting his eyes clawed out. Asia, we get their debut. Nice. Okay, it says they're a super group. I didn't know that. Let's see who made it.
Yeah, who's super on that?
Keyboardist Jeffrey Downs and guitarist Steve Howe from Yes. King Crimson singer bassist John Wetton and Emerson Lake and Palmer drummer Carl Palmer. Wow, I never knew that about Asia.
What a lineup!
Yes, it's Yes, King Crimson, and Emerson Lake and Palmer all together in a band.
All right. Iron Maiden, The Number of the Beast. Okay. That is their third.
Oh, by the way, this Asia album had Heat of the Moment.
Oh, okay. Nice. That's a good one then. Oh, dude, I didn't. That's right. It's funny because like the album's called The Number of the Beast, but Run to the Hills definitely best song on that album. Just saying.
Yeah, that's one of their bigger albums for sure, if not the biggest. All right, Misfits debut. They're coming out. Toto 4. That's one of the best ones.
Dude, I love Toto 4. Oh.
We get Rosanna and Africa.
And I don't want to say more importantly, but my favorite song on that album is actually Waiting for Your Love. That song is so good. It is phenomenal. Probably with a close second right there at Rosanna. And then
which part was phenomenal?
Waiting for Your Love. Second to last song, right before Africa.
Oh, nice.
It's my favorite song on the album. And then Rosanna, and then Africa. And then
I was never the biggest fan of Africa. I don't hate it, but it's another one of those kind of overplayed.
Yeah.
And then you listen to it, you're like, yeah, this is good, but it's not something I'm ever going to go listen to. Where Rosanna, I don't know, just does it for me in a different way. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I usually skip Africa,
but
I always start the album at number 9, Waiting for Your Love, because it's my favorite, and then I skip Africa and go right into Rosanna.
I got to check that one because I'm not familiar with that. We do get Van Halen, Diver Down.
Okay.
What was on this one? Let's find out. There's a lot of music we're discussing here.
Yeah, this seems like a big year.
Okay, Pretty Woman, which is a cover. Dancing in the Street.
I like
other
that
cover.
one.
Marvin Gaye wrote that. I mean, there's some other stuff for sure.
That song's been covered a lot, actually.
Not their strongest entry, I don't think.
All right, I've got, moving along, Men Without Hats, their debut. They did the Safety Dance song. Motorhead with their 5th, but I think their biggest stuff is in the past, like you said. Dolly Parton, Heartbreak Express.
What month are you in now?
I am in April, about to go into May. Rainbow. Why do I feel like, have we talked about them?
Yeah, Rainbow is where Dio came from, if I remember. Okay. And it was started by Richie Blackmore after he left Deep Purple.
Yeah, Frank Zappa with his monthly ad. Queen, Hot Space, their 10th album. The artwork, really good.
Interesting, yeah. Very, very clashing colors, but cool. The Cure just drops an album simply called Pornography.
That's great. I'm sure
Interesting
they.
there.
I'd love to go back and look and see if they're allowed to sell it like anywhere. There were always so
we
many
sell
restrictions
pornography,
with stuff
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Duran Duran's Rio, their second.
Peter Criss just dropping another solo album. You go, boy.
The Clash. Heart with another. Blondie with another. Let's see. Oh, dude, for a second on Neil Diamond's greatest hits, I thought it said his 12th greatest hits. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's a lot.
But it's 12 greatest hits, volume 2. So it's just 12 songs. But I was like, oh my God, how do you. Even Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan don't have 12 greatest hits albums.
That is wild.
Cheap Trick, One on One with their 6th.
Kiss released an album called Killers. That's their second compilation.
Kansas. You in June right now?
I am in June. Yep.
I see George Strait with another. What is that? His second. Yep, George Strait with his second. Straight from the Heart. Spelled, how his name is. Then
John Lord has a solo album. I did not realize that. He's the keyboardist famously from Deep Purple, and he was famous for getting all those really strong organ sounds that Deep Purple had.
Oh, okay. REO
Died a few years ago.
Speedwagon with another. Nugent. Ted Nugent's Nugent.
Nice. All right, we're into July.
Fleetwood Mac with their
Judas
13th.
Priest have Screaming for Vengeance. That's one of their big ones.
Oh, that album artwork is nice.
Billy Idol, we get his debut.
Okay, self-titled. All right. Robert Plant with a solo album. Is this his first? It is his debut solo album. Let's see how many
Blackfoot.
albums. It took Donna Summer 10 albums to finally self-title one.
Nice. I'm out of ideas.
Billy Squire. All right. Emotions in Motion. Okay. That's a cool title. Kenny Rogers. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot there. Moving on to August.
Don Henley's debut solo album.
Anything on there that you know? I know you like Don Henley, right?
Let me go look.
Yep.
Dirty Laundry.
Got a Bad
If I
Company
remember,
album.
That can't be right. There is a song. Wow, he basically has. Dang, his personnel on this album, or the song, it's like basically Toto and the Eagles together.
Oh, that's awesome. We got REM's EP. Hootie and the Blowfish will be happy. The Time with their second. What time is it? Aerosmith, Rockin' a Hard Place. Neil Diamond, George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Bad to the Bone. Big album. Let's see. Ooh, Michael McDonald. Is that his first debut? It is his debut solo album. There we go. And that's got I Keep Forgetting, I believe. Yep, it does have I Keep Forgetting. Great song, great album. There, Santana with another album, his 13th.
Steve Winwood.
With his
Then we're to
third.
September 1982.
All right. Rush Signals.
That's a big one.
Yep.
Peter Gabriel's fourth album, which is self-titled.
Golden Earring. What song did they do that I know? That's their 16th. Oh, geez. Billy Joel with another, his 8th.
Bruce Springsteen releases Nebraska.
That one was an acoustic album, I believe. I think that was his first acoustic
I
album.
think you're right. We do get the debut album from Twisted Sister.
Ooh. Under the Blade. Janet Jackson debut. Finally, I guess the Jackson 5 finally. Well, not the Jackson 5. Remember, Michael started doing solo stuff they just called the Jacksons. So I guess they're probably broken up now since their main two are not part of the group anymore. Johnny Cash with, doing what he does. Conway Twitty with another. Kenny Loggins hitting his stride. I know nothing about Iggy Pop, but I've been seeing him pop up a lot over these couple years.
Yeah, big punk guy.
Hall & Oates, what a great album title for them. H2O. Yep.
Smart. Lionel Richie's debut. That's cool.
Oh, nice. Good one.
Kiss released Creatures of the Night. This was their last for their record label. It's also the band's last album recorded with Ace Frehley. Tracks on this one were Killer, I Love It Loud, Creatures of the Night. Oh, War Machine. Yeah, that's a cool one.
Prince's fifth album, 1999, which if you hover that album artwork, I've got a magnet of that on my fridge. That's just the part that says Prince like that. Very unique.
Nice
artwork there.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Super Tramp.
Big one for him.
Yep. Alice Cooper. What's this? His seventh?
Eagles' Greatest Hits.
Volume 2. Definitely didn't do as well as the first one.
Features many of the hits. No, that version is not out yet, I don't think. That's all of them. That first one is not. Neither of these are the ones that are the big selling one.
Oh, they're not?
No.
I thought you said that the first one came out before, Hotel California was on it.
Yeah. That's not the version of the greatest hits. That's the greatest selling one, though.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's their their third one.
I guess they have. So they had 1 and 2, and then I think they released one that was just kind of actually really their greatest hits.
Gotcha.
And that's the one that has most of them, or maybe it was a compilation of both. I don't really remember exactly what it was. But I had that album. I think at least I've seen it before. It's the white one with the bird. Let's see. Or maybe it was that one. I don't know.
While you look that up.
Oh, yeah, here it is. The very best of the Eagles. Yeah.
The white best of. Okay.
I guess it's not a bird, but some sort of elephant bug looking thing. And that was released in 2003.
Gotcha.
So it combines all the tracks that appeared on the 2 previously released greatest hits.
And then that one went on to be the best selling.
Along with other singles not included. And then a new track.
Oh.
Also has commentaries.
I like when you release an original song on a greatest hits album. It gives a little more incentive for people to buy it.
Oh, it's a horse skull with feathers is what that is.
Ah. I'm moving on to November, by the way.
Every song on the track list except for 2 has a Wikipedia link.
that does it.
Yeah.
So we got Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Their 5th. Phil Collins with his 2nd solo album. George Harrison, ABBA with a compilation. John Lennon compilation.
Whitesnake, Saints and Sinners. Chaka Khan, her 4th. Led Zeppelin, Coda. This is their 9th and final studio album.
Who's the drummer for them during this period?
I don't know if they...
Oh,
yeah, no, they just disbanded.
Still.
They just disbanded when he died.
Okay, so they're just releasing music they had already recorded still.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, below that, Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Wow.
Huge big album.
That's the
for sure.
top selling album of all time.
Yeah.
Is it enough to dethrone 1980? Let's find out. Night Rangers at their first? Yeah, nice. That's cool.
Nice. Maybe if we get enough cool debuts here, they can overcome. So far, nothing there.
Not much else. The rest of the.
Yeah. Sammy Hagar. Let's see the Red. Yep, for sure. Red. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band with their 12th. Neil Young, but nothing crazy.
I don't know if Thriller is enough to offset that powerhouse 1980 lineup.
What else was in 80 outside of Back in Black that we're...
Pull it back up.
Yeah, I was like, I think I need to go through here and find what some of those other big albums were. I'm seeing some other, like, I mean, Prince had a decently big album in 80. The Police had a good album in 80. U2's debut was in 80. Ace of Spades was in 80. Okay, yeah.
That was one of them, yeah. Journey's Departure. Not that that's massive, but Def Leppard's debut. Van Halen had one. I don't know if you said that. Iron Maiden's debut. Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell.
Yeah, I think 80's still holding on strong.
I think so too.
I'm gonna move on to 83 and see if we can dethrone 80 here.
Let's do it. We're in 83.
Yep. Let's see. All right.
Last two.
Oh, dude! Right off the bat, "Sweet Dreams Are Made of This" by the album.
Eurythmics.
Actually, yep. Eurythmics.
Right after that, dude, we get Neil Young way ahead of his time with the album Trans.
Okay.
Just kidding. Bryan Adams, Cuts Like a Knife. One of his biggest songs. We used to play that. Really good song. Def Leppard, Pyromania. That's their biggest album, I believe. Let me go through the track list. Photograph, Foolin', Rock of Ages, and some others. Rock Till You Drop.
Yeah, definitely a pretty big one. Okay, so they're starting strong, though.
Is that Loudness's debut? No, it's their third.
Kenny G?
Black Sabbath. Kenny G, G-Force.
With his second. All right, what else? Styx, Kilroy was here. That must have Mr. Roboto on it. Yep.
Quiet Riot released their biggest, Metal Health.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Very familiar with the
release War.
That's another big
Journey
one of theirs.
Released Frontiers. Frontiers had all the hits that Escape didn't.
Yeah, so
War, Separate Ways, Cinder My Love, Faithfully.
Oh, okay. I love Faithfully. That's cool.
Only the Young and Ask the Lonely.
So War had Sunday, Bloody Sunday, and New Year's Day on it. So not a bad album from U2 either. Let's see. Some good albums in this year. Nothing like crazy, but some good stuff so far. Oh, solid. Dude. Tears for Fears with their debut. The Hurting. All right.
Nice. Solid album art, too.
Oh, for sure.
Europe's debut.
Okay. Pink Floyd, The Final Cut.
ZZ Top released Eliminator. That was a big one.
Frank
Give
Zappa.
Me All Your Lovin', Sharp Dressed Man, Legs. I mean, massive album. They're probably their biggest, if I had to guess.
Yeah, wow. That's a...
I'm into April now.
Yeah, me too. Oh, wait, I got to look at this Santana. Molly Hatchet. Oh, my God, look at that Molly Hatchet artwork. They changed it up.
No Guts, No Glory. Wow. Nice.
They did it. They figured it out.
We get REM's debut.
Nice. I wonder what's on the debut. Oh, dude, you skipped over my favorite David Bowie album, Let's Dance. Love that album. His 15th.
Nice.
So good. Murmur. That's right. What's on Murmur? That one has, I think Perfect Circle's the only one I know from that one. For anybody who missed our Hootie and the Blowfish episode, they basically started as an REM cover band. It was their favorite band, the one that they all would just like really found that common ground over. All right. What else do we have here? Men at Work with their second. Yep. Although all their big hits were on their first. So Twisted Sister, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Oh, the UK release, US released in June. Okay. Meatloaf, but it's a forgettable album probably. If it's not Bad Outta Hell, which already came out. Ooh, Michael Bolton's debut. Oh no, third. They always get me wrong when they name their album after themselves. Many albums in. All right, what else?
That's insane.
Steve Miller Band. Oh, that's just a live album.
Iron Maiden, Peace of Mind, by the way. Big one.
What's
and
on that?
Dio, Holy Diver. Nice.
Oh, Holy Diver. That's a big one of his.
Elton John, Too Low for Zero. That's his 17th. He had a lot of albums, man. I didn't realize he had that many.
Yeah, man. Whenever we have to do that episode, that's going to be a lot of music. Like, my goodness. Motorhead with another. That album artwork looks absolutely epic.
Where's this one?
In May, right in the middle.
I see it. Yeah, that is crazy. That's cool looking.
All right, Joe Walsh with more stuff. The Who's Greatest Hits.
And I'm realizing, we're kind of drawing attention to the ones that we know and like. There's probably plenty in here that, a listener might love and not realize because we're skipping over it because we might not know it. So definitely encourage you guys to go take a look yourself. Hey, in June, we get Metal Magic, Pantera's debut. You have to check this one out. Because for their first 3 or so albums, they were like a glam metal band. Look at the album art on this.
Look, geez. Interesting. Very interesting. Rod Stewart.
First song's called Ride My Rocket.
I see.
It's about going to space.
Oh, of course. Of course. Stevie Nicks with her second solo album. Ringo Starr still being allowed to release solo albums.
Hey, don't skip over Stevie Ray Vaughan, Texas Flood. His debut. I didn't realize that was his debut. An amazing album by one of the greatest guitar players of all time.
Just below that, The Police's Synchronicity.
Wow, that's huge too.
Big album.
Because I don't keep up with the Police that well, and I know that one.
Yep, that's the one that
it's got
for anybody,
every breath you take.
Yep, it has every breath you take. It's got Synchronicity 1, Synchronicity 2, King of Pain. Big album of theirs. Pink Floyd with a compilation album. Doobie Brothers Farewell Tour. Oh, man. Debut of Wham? Okay.
Yeah, so that's George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley.
Whoever the other guy is.
George Michael and George Michael's friend.
Yeah, exactly. George Michael and the other guy.
Also get the debut of Suicidal Tendencies.
Metallica's debut, Kill 'Em All. We're heating up, man. Heating up in 83. I got to say, there's been some big stuff.
Yeah, that's big.
Madonna's debut. I know we're not big Madonna fans, but she is huge. We cannot
Surfers
deny.
gotta. You're gonna love that album art. I know you.
Oh, yep. That's my favorite. That's the ideal body type right there.
Right? That's just you look at that, one word comes to mind. That's just specimen.
Specimen.
All right, we're in August now.
Oh, man.
Billy Joel cranking them out. Can't stop, won't stop. It's his 9th. It's called An Innocent Man. Asia released their second. Hey, we get Queensryche, their debut EP, which has Queen of the Reich, really high note. AC/DC releases Flick of the Switch.
I I'm not familiar
Rat.
with that
We
one.
get their debut, dude. The 80s metal LA scene is like on its way.
Yeah, dude,
we're pretty much in it now.
It's heating up. There's been a lot of good debuts this year. A ton.
Yep.
They need to finish strong here, and I think they can overcome 80. So far, they've got a case.
I think you're right. September, Black Sabbath, Born Again. It's the only album they did with Deep Purple singer Ian Gillan.
Have you heard this album? I'm not familiar.
I have. I don't remember. It's been years and years and years. So Black Sabbath obviously went through a ton of different singers, and they were mostly like pretty famous people.
Another Huey
and I think
Lewis.
83 might take it.
Oh.
We get Huey Lewis, and then shortly after that, we get Lick It Up from Kiss, which is badass. And then we get Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, which is badass. Now I need to say one that's not rock, but it's just a lot of rock right now. We get Dokken, Breaking the Chains. That's their debut. Jeez.
Yep. Debut.
I don't know. I think 83 might have it. We get the 5th studio album from Y&T. I forgot they'd been doing music for a minute.
Oh my gosh. Johnny 99, Johnny Cash, 69th album. Oh. My God.
Jesus, dude.
Dude. Jeez, man.
Is there anyone who's had more albums?
I'm not sure. I know Bob Dylan's
this might be
got
a new
like
record.
40 something, but
Genesis 12th studio album is their self-titled.
Okay, 12 before they ran out of names. All right.
Yep.
George
Cyndi
Strait,
Lauper's debut.
his 3rd. Cyndi Lauper debut. Oh, another big one. Wow, her and Madonna debuted the same year. That's crazy.
What are the Oak Ridge Boys? Why do I know them?
Oh, dude, her debut had Girls Just Want to Have Fun and Time After Time on it.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's what I was just thinking. I was like, oh. My gosh. What were you asking me? I'm sorry.
The Oak Ridge Boys. I know their name, and I'm trying to figure out what they did that I would know. They're in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Oh, Elvira. That's how we looked that up.
How do you pronounce the band? The
Guys, is this a typo? Absolutely not. Write it down.
Man, I cannot look at John Mellencamp the same after what he said with the Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. That's what it was.
I know,
I'll
right?
leave the label if you sign that band.
Bye-bye.
What does that have to do with you?
I would make you leave the label at that point just for being a twat.
That's what I'm saying. Like, God.
Like, you don't get to control what other people do, man. That bugs me a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was like when I read that, man. That
it doesn't affect you. Do your thing and keep doing your thing. And don't like it, that's fine. You definitely don't have to like it. But you don't get to hold people hostage to like your demands.
Yeah.
That's some diva shit.
For sure. Hopefully he looks back at it now.
And you can't be holding your belt buckle in your jeans and looking all cool and country, but acting like a diva. You just can't be doing that.
Is he still alive? He is alive, and he looks like a douche. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, moving along here. The Doors with a random live album. Okay.
That's hilarious. In 83.
Yep.
Survivor.
Hot in the Game.
All right, we're down in November now.
Alice Cooper with his 8th.
Paul Simon, Hearts and Bones.
Nice. I'm not super familiar with that one.
Yes. Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh, dude, that's a big Yes album, I believe. That's one that I had, or my dad had. I got to look at the track listing. Owner of a Lonely Heart, Hold On, It Can Happen,
Oh,
Changes,
that's their
Cinema,
biggest song.
Leave It, Our Song. Yeah, dude, that's their biggest album. That's the one.
90125.
Yep. Yeah, that one's
Very
got
cool.
a
U2
ton of
releases
hits.
Under a Blood Red Sky. That's a live album. I remember that one for sure. I've seen that a lot.
Duran Duran's 3rd. Okay. Then December, Bark at the Moon. from Ozzy
We get
Osbourne.
Slayer's debut.
Oh, is that their debut? Okay, nice. Slayer's debut.
And then, yeah, Bark at the Moon, which is my favorite
Bark
by
at the
Ozzy.
Moon.
And then we get Accept, Balls to the Wall. That's huge. And I think with that, I think 83 is going to take the lead.
I agree with you completely.
I think barely. I think it's close, but I think 83, with all the different debuts and big albums, I think 83 squeaks out the lead. Let's finish strong with 84. Let's see if they can keep going.
Let's see. Let's get in
All
here.
right. I mean, the first album, January 9th,
Wow.
1984 by Van Halen. That's a big one. Track listing on that. Jump, Panama, Top Jimmy, Drop Dead Legs, Hot for Teacher, I'll Wait. I mean, massive. That's one of their bigger ones for sure. They came back strong.
Dude, Bon Jovi's debut in January here.
Wow.
Titled Bon Jovi, self-titled.
Whitesnake Slide It In. That's a big one.
All right, good start for 84.
We're gonna get one of these Whitesnakes in here before it's too long.
Steve Vai with his debut, Anthrax with their debut.
Flexible. 38 Special. All right, we're in February. Simple Minds. I've been seeing them. Keep waiting for the album that's going to have their big hit. I think it might be later in the 80s, though. Scorpions, Love at First Sting.
Back to having women.
This album has Rock You Like a Hurricane, Still Loving You, and Big City Nights, three of their biggest hits.
That's got to be their biggest album, then.
I think you might be right. Rat releases Out of the Cellar. That's their biggest. Round and Around is on it.
Thompson Twins with their fourth. I like the Thompson Twins. I don't think.
Have you gone back and listened to like 80s glam metal?
Not lately.
It was like a couple years ago. I was driving and I was like, you know what? I haven't heard any of these songs in a while. I'm going to find a playlist. So I found like an 80s glam metal playlist and I hit play. Dude, it does not hold up at all. It is absolute garbage.
Oh, no.
The lyrics are horrific. And then the songs are like it's just like you just have to go listen to it.
Golden Earring with an album.
Ted Nugent with an album simply called Penetrator.
Oh. Roger Daltrey with a solo album. Oh, dude.
Ooh, we get Spinal Tap. It's awesome. With the album cover that's None More Black.
David Gilmour's second solo album. We're big David Gilmour fans
here. Is he in Pink Floyd yet?
He still is. Because the Division Bell comes out in the 90s. Yeah.
And we get Yngwie Malmsteen's first album. That's awesome.
Oh, nice. Okay. Guitar legend. The Cars with their fifth. Let's see. The Go-Go's. King Crimson
Run DMC.
Still doing stuff. Ah.
Their debut. So
hip hop
some
genre. Yeah, I was going to say we're getting some new genres in here.
Yeah, that's something we haven't really seen a lot of, huh? Great White. They're first.
Moving on to April.
Rush, Grace Under Pressure, REM, Reckoning.
Roger Waters with his debut.
His solo debut. And Steve Perry's solo debut, which he did have a hit. Like a pretty big hit. Yeah. Yep, this has it on it. Oh, Sherry. You've probably heard it in a store or something. Oh, Sherry, our love.
Yeah, I know that song.
Holds on. Really good song. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Couldn't Stand the Weather. Love that album. Had that album. Killer.
Oh, dude. Bob Marley and the Wailers Legend, which is a greatest hits album. That one is one of the ones I was saying I grew up listening to, or my dad did.
Yeah, I recognize that art. Yeah, for sure. Good times.
Michael Jackson with the compilation. Twisted Sister with their third.
Jeez. Chicago 17.
For their 14th
album.
Yep. That's how
I know what you're thinking, and yes, it is their 14th album.
Yep. Ooh, Stevie Ray Vaughan with his second.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. Oh, quiet month there, actually, as I go through here.
Yeah, but in June, we get Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA.
Huge album. Definitely his best.
Sheila E. drops an album.
Elton John.
Elton
Rod
John
Stewart.
drops Breaking Hearts. We know that one. Glenn Fry from the Eagles releases his second.
Dude, what a month. Born in the USA came out, and then later that month, Prince and the Revolution released Purple Rain.
Woo. Yeah, that's wild.
Gosh.
Yeah, I mean, 84 might have a case here. Dio releases Last in Line.
Time with their third. Neil Diamond. Sammy Hagar. Yep, there's all the red. I just want one album without the red. Oh my God. Metallica's Ride the Lightning in July.
Quiet Riot, Condition Critical, and then Pantera, Projects in the Jungle, they're second. So they're still in their glam metal phase. I want to go back and listen to that. I haven't really heard it in depth. Moving on, we got Haunting the Chapel, Slayer. We got the Red Hot Chili Peppers debut.
It's not great. I won't lie.
Wasps debut. Crazy album art on that one, though, the RHCP one.
Yep.
The Colts debut. We get the Best of Kansas, which I have that album. It's a great album. It is a compilation, but it is also good. We get Iron Maiden Power Slave. That's huge. The Warning, Queensryche. That's their first full-length studio album. Kiss, Animalize. Billy Ocean, love him.
Fifth. Kiss. Yep.
Doc and Tooth and Nail. That's a big one.
Second. All right.
Autograph. We get their debut. That has Turn Up the Radio. We're in the 80s, one hit wonder ballad, metal band kind of phase. BTO. That's their ninth self-titled. Dennis DeYoung, he's from Styx. We get his debut solo.
I wonder what Survivor album has Eye of the Tiger. How long until they get their one hit wonder?
I don't know. Jimmy Buffett, Riddles in the Sand. I guess we're down into October now.
Yep.
U2, The Unforgettable Fire.
Not super familiar with that. Man, they kind of hit a little slow period. I thought they could have had enough to do 83. Right now, they're just
Armored
not
Saints
pumping enough.
Debut.
Hall & Oates with another album. AC/DC 74 Jailbreak.
Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers. That's a famous one.
Looks like we're getting into November here.
Yep. Toto, Isolation, REO Speedwagon, Wheels Are Turning. Madonna, Like a Virgin. That's huge.
Is that her second? Right. Yep. Robert Plant with another solo album. Kool and the Gang. Still doing it.
Molly Hatchet. Oh, look at that art, Mark, making a return.
Let's see.
Now we're in December.
Back to their
things
classic.
slow down in December, huh?
Yeah, definitely a big slowdown.
December.
Black Flag running it.
Every year we've seen December's really quiet for releases.
Yeah, definitely it seems like a bad month to release an album. In
Foreigner, though, they released their fifth.
Probably got some hits.
All right, so it's between 84 and 83, I would say.
My vote's with 83 still.
All right, 83 it is.
83 moving forward, but we're about to have so many other debuts coming in the part 2 that are going to shake things up quite a bit.
So far we have 1965, 1976, and 1983 at the moment, although, as Ashton just said, we have not finished the 80s yet. So thank you guys so much for joining us. These have been a lot of fun. This is a long one, dude. We're hitting 90 minutes on part 1.
I know. The 80s just might be the golden era, man.
Seems that way. I think it definitely has the most stuff.
Yeah, definitely the most stuff, and a lot of debuts, lots of debuts. So, but
yeah, for sure.
We'll see who wins in our part 2 series. So thanks for joining us today,
Yeah.
guys.
All right. We'll see you guys next time for when we wrap this bad boy up.